Truly what we're doing at this point, this early on, 15 months to go, because anything can happen. I want to bring in CNN political commentator and Republican strategist Tara Setmayer and Democratic strategist Robert Zimmerman, both of them smiling because this is your season, folks. This is where you get to weigh in and you matter, because those people up on stage are dying for you to say great things about them. So Tara, I'm going to begin with you. A lot of people are saying this is the kind of debate where you can't really win it, but you sure as heck can lose it. Who do you think has the most at stake, and how might they lose big?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. When you have 10 people on the stage with about an average of maybe 9 to 10 minutes over the entire period of the debate to actually make your mark, say what you have to say, it's really difficult to actually stand out unless you make a mistake. I think Jeb Bush has a lot to lose here. The spotlight has been on him. He's supposed to be the adult in the room. He was supposed to be the one that was going to come in and have solid policy positions and bring the party together. But he's had some gas as of late coming into this debate in particular with comments he made about women's health. So people are going to look at him and look at his disposition, particularly standing next to Donald Trump on the stage, how he's going to come across, what he's going to say. I think a lot of the spotlight is on Jeb Bush for sure.
I think it's an important point.
Yeah, well, Robert, but bring that up, because the spotlight might be for you, you wonky wonks on Jeb Bush, but you know that so much of the viewership is going to be because they want to see an apprentice-styled debate. But I really wonder what's going to happen, Robert, if Donald Trump shows up and is more muted and doesn't give that material that everyone's looking for.
Well, I'm willing to predict he'll play against type initially in this debate. Whether he's disciplined enough to stay that way is another issue. But I think the bigger point is this. There's a very big distinction between playing to the Republican electorate and speaking out to the country at large. Right now, Donald Trump has so inflamed the rhetoric that you have now Mike Huckabee threatening to bring in federal troops to block women's rights to make their own health care choices. You've got Rand Paul using a buzzsaw to go through the tax code. Ted Cruz using a machine gun with bacon wrapped around it as a new way to cook bacon. I mean, they look like an infomercial for anger management therapy. Now, that may play very well with the right-wing base of the Republican Party that chooses the nominee, but it's way out of step with the American people.
Well, and that's the big thing. It's like, how do you get through the primaries and make your point and beat those guys at a very, very strategic game, and then ultimately do that etch-a-sketch thing that we all talked about years ago and try to appeal to the general public for the general election. Tara, about this issue of just not speaking ill, the 11th commandment for President Reagan, don't speak ill of your fellow fellas on the stage, and instead focus on the other guy, that'd be the girl, Hillary Clinton. Are we going to hear a ton about her tonight?
I would hope so. I mean, the 11th commandment's kind of been thrown out the window with the entry of Donald Trump, unfortunately, and exactly what Robert said, how some of the candidates have felt that they need to say some things that may be a little more shock value than necessarily substantive to get attention. I hope that does not happen tonight. I really hope that everyone is comfortable, they're relaxed, they are conversational, and they don't look overproduced. I think you run into a problem with that on these kinds of debate stages, because you have to remember, this is basically the first time the American people are really seeing a lot of these candidates for the first time in prime time. And this can be make or break a situation. I mean, Robert may remember, he might have been there in 1960 when Kennedy and Nixon debated. The difference that the visuals can make when in a debate like this. I mean, Nixon was sweaty, he was underweight, he was sickly compared to Kennedy, who was calm, cool, and collected and handsome. And people who watched TV at the time, 88% of Americans had televisions then, people who watched that debate thought that Kennedy won, but people who listened to the debate thought that Nixon won. So
I was a little young for that debate, Tara.
Can make a difference.
Well, I wasn't at that debate, but I can tell you there was a lot about makeup. Makeup was an issue. Nixon wouldn't wear makeup, and Kennedy did, and that made a big difference.
But this is so much bigger than makeup and appearance.
Absolutely, but that was the first debate. But unfortunately, because it's a visual medium, like I said, how you present can matter. A lot of people, because there's so many of them, people are going to remember how they felt, how people looked, more than what they necessarily say, unless we have an oops moment like Rick Perry had.
Go ahead, Bob.
I think it's much bigger than that. Sure, you have to have the right appearance, and you've got to be presentable. And yes, they're going to be attacking Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. But what will be interesting to see is beyond they're advocating legislation to deport undocumented workers, they're proposing ideas to discriminate against the gay and lesbian community, they're opposed to the middle income, raising the minimum wage, but what are they for? That'll be the question. It's not enough to say that you're going to have Mexico build a wall and they're going to thank you for it. You have to get, I think the American people are demanding real answers from these candidates and real alternative ideas.
I have to leave it there, but I love you both.
I hope so.
And this is going to be fun.
Great.
You hope I love you, or you hope we're on delay? That was cute.
I hope you both love me.
Tara and Robert, have fun tonight. I know you will.
Of course, Robert.
And we're going to talk to you tomorrow. Both of you. Thank you.